Mars was never meant to be a battlefield, but war doesn't ask permission. I remember the first alarm vividly. The sound cut through Ares' colony like a blade, sharp and unforgiving. Red lights pulsed through the command hall as emergency shutters slammed shut. Ceiling ooze. Outside the reinforced glass dome, the Martian sky burned darker than usual, clouds of red dust swirling as if the planet itself sensed what was coming. I was stationed at Ares Colony, humanity's largest settlement on Mars. We were a city of scientists, engineers, and families. We weren't soldiers. We were pioneers. Or at least, that's what we thought we were. That illusion shattered the moment the orbital defense satellites went silent. At first, we just thought it was a malfunction, a communications glitch. Then, the sky split open. Massive alien vessels descended from orbit without a single warning. They were sleek, angular shapes that seemed to swallow the light, as if space itself was bending around them. Our scanners screamed in protest, completely unable to lock onto targets that ignored the laws of physics as we knew them. The ships just hovered there silently, watching us, studying us. And then they attacked. Plasma beams, silent and deadly in the thin atmosphere, tore through the outer mining facilities, turning durasteel into molten slag. Explosions rippled across the red plains like skipping stones on a deadly pond. Panic spread faster than fire inside the colony. People ran. Some prayed, others just froze, staring at the sky in total disbelief. I grabbed my rifle from its rack and joined the emergency response unit. We were under-equipped, under-trained, and utterly unprepared for a war against a species that had crossed the interstellar void just to reach us. The aliens deployed ground forces. They were biomechanical entities with elongated limbs and glowing eyes that pulsed like living reactors. They moved in perfect, unnerving coordination, adapting instantly to every move we made. Our bullets slowed them, but they rarely killed them. Every time one of them fell, the others adjusted their tactics. They were learning, and they were learning fast. We threw up desperate defensive lines, using whatever we could find: cargo containers, rover wreckage, mining equipment. Mars' thin atmosphere amplified every sound. The crack of weapon fire echoed endlessly, and screams carried much farther than they should have. I watched one of my teammates get dragged into the dust by an alien construct that moved like liquid metal. There was no time to help him. No time to even look away. As the battle escalated, something far worse happened. The aliens activated a device at the center of the battlefield, a towering, obsidian structure that embedded itself into the Martian soil. The ground trembled violently. Gravity itself started to fluctuate. People were lifted off the surface, floating helplessly for a few seconds before slamming back down with crushing force. My vision blurred as an unbearable pressure built inside my skull. Then the voices began. Not spoken aloud, not through comms, but inside my mind. They weren't screaming. They weren't threatening. They were to come clinical. Curious. You are inefficient. You are temporary. You will be replaced. It was then I understood. The aliens weren't here to conquer Mars. They were here to erase us. I fought through the chaos, pushing my way toward the command bunker, resisting the psychic assault with every ounce of willpower I had. Inside, the survivors gathered, bloodied, terrified, but somehow still alive. Our AI Defense Corps, nicknamed Ares, was still operational, and with it, we had one last, desperate plan. We would overload the colony's fusion reactor. If Mars was going to fall, we would make sure the aliens paid a steep price for it. As the aliens breached the outer bunker walls, their metallic limbs tearing through reinforced plating, I volunteered to manually trigger the overload from the reactor chamber itself. It was a suicide mission. Everyone knew it, but no one tried to stop me. The chamber glowed with a blinding white light. As energy levels spiked, the alien voices in my head grew louder, angrier now, pressing into my mind like burning claws. I could feel them trying to stop me, trying to understand why a species would choose to destroy itself rather than submit. Inside my helmet, I smiled. That's what makes us human, I whispered to the void. I initiated the final sequence, and I ran. The explosion didn't destroy Mars, but it tore a massive, molten crater across the battlefield, obliterating the alien structure and, most importantly, disrupting their psychic network. Their ships in orbit faltered. Some crashed into the surface, while others hastily retreated into the blackness of space. We had survived. Barely. As the first light of a new Martian dawn rose over the red horizon, smoke drifted across the ruins of Ares' colony, and in that quiet, devastating moment, I realized the truth. This wasn't the end. It wasn't even the beginning of peace. It was just the first battle of a war that would decide who had the right to exist beyond Earth. And next time, humanity would be ready. Thanks for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We have many more stories to tell.